Have you ever wanted to learn how to use watercolor paints, but felt a little daunted by the process? Seems overly complex and complicated, and maybe you're not ready to jump into the expense of buying lots of paints, and maybe also you're challenged by creating something that looks like something. Well, today I want to share with you some quick tips on how you can embrace watercolor painting without spending a lot of money, and also you may not necessarily have to have a lot of experience to get started. Let me show you what I'm talking about today on Mixed Media Masters. Now, as promised, today we're talking about watercolor paints and painting. What I really want to share with you are some very quick ways to get involved in watercolor painting without spending a lot of money, having a lot of talent to begin with, and also an opportunity to go and test the waters, so to speak, right? Oftentimes, as artists, we're always thinking, hey, I might want to try that, but sometimes the cost is a little prohibitive, the outlay of equipment we need to get, and we don't want to spend a lot of time and money only to find later on, yeah, this isn't my thing. So an opportunity to jump in and do it for cheap and see what you like and what you enjoy is really what we want to talk about today. And to that point, I'm talking about this amazing watercolor kit that is really, really inexpensive. And the thing I love about this is there are 42 colors in this palette. Let me spread these out here for you so you can see. There are 42 colors that we can work with in here. And mine are already pretty well loved here. But the thing that's beautiful about this, it also comes with this pen. Now, this pen is what we're calling a water pen. And it is quite literally a reservoir filled with tap water here and a brush. There, you can buy these in different brush shapes depending what your needs are, what your desires are. But the beautiful thing about this, instead of constantly having to dip in a container of water and mix your paints, is you can do it all here within the brush. Now, if you find that to your liking, that's fantastic. But what it allows us to do is to come in here and choose a color. Let me grab this green color here. And just by stirring that up a little bit, right, I can start to pull those colors to the surface. And now I have a paintbrush that's loaded with that color and ready to go. And what I end up doing with that color is entirely up to me. Now, the other thing that's nice about this is anytime I want to add additional water, I simply just squeeze the barrel of this brush and I can get more water in the mix. So in this case, if I wanted to blend this green, let's say instead of having a line, I want to create something that's a little bit more of a green cloud or blob here, I can come in here and I can very easily do that and spread this stuff around. So it makes it very easy to control the moisture content, the wetness of the paint, if you will, and create something that's going to really work for me here. I also have this foam rubber section up here, which allows me to kind of clean my brush in between if I want to do that, get some of that color off. I find a lot of times you're just going to blend things together pretty comfortably anyway. Let's get some kind of this blue in here. We'll get some blue-green. And again, as we were doing before, if I come in here and lay some of this pigment down and then add some water, I can create something that will kind of blend these colors together. Right? So I can create something that's a little bit more, it looks like it belongs together like that. And again, by just squeezing a little bit of extra water out here, it gives me more to work with and really kind of pull those pieces together. Let's add something really bright like some red here and see what we can do with that. Let me grab this red color, pick up some of that pigment, and again, let me kind of add some red down in this section here. We'll see how this works out for us. And again, I'm just going to get some extra wet on the paper here so I can start to mix these colors together. And one of the nice things about working with watercolors is that's one of the things it really does best. It really allows us to create these gradients between these different colors by just blurring the borders between them. All right, so I can kind of come up here, and again, if I get a little bit more wet in here, I can get a sense of what's going to happen as I come in. All right, and I can also, by the way, I can say, well, I really don't like this dividing line. It's a little too stark for me. You know what? Go back into your green, pick some of that up. Let's get some of that red off of here. Pick up some more green and come on back with that. And again, it will allow us to come in here and add some of that wet. Look at that. Okay. Now, this is hardly a masterpiece. This is an example. But what I wanted to be able to share with you is that these tools exist. And again, I will put this information in the description below in this video. If you want to check out how much it costs to buy the 42 watercolor palette along with the paintbrush that comes with it. You can also buy different brushes separately in a pack, easy to do. And by the way, if you're traveling, and I find this is really great if I'm doing any kind of traveling, putting this in my luggage and putting a couple extra paintbrushes in my luggage, it's no thing at all. It's easy peasy to do. And then when I get to my location, I have some time to do art. I have some tools available to work with, and it all works out nicely. Anyway, that's all I wanted to share with you today. Just a quick tip on a great tool if you want to get involved in watercolors. I hope this video was useful to you in some way. Anyway, that's all I have for you today. Thanks so much for dropping by, and I'll talk to you next time.